Welcome to Herding Cats. So my life as a mom of four, as you can imagine, is in constant motion, constantly noisy, and I am changing directions and there's always movement. So with two young boys, two relatively extroverted young adults, and of course my husband, who is intrinsically a vivacious storyteller. He is of course a history teacher, and he often jokes with me that he doesn't teach 5 classes a day. He actually does 5 shows a day, which is pretty accurate. On top of it all, 4 out of 5 of those people that I live with have been diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So really, there is constant movement, constant noise, constant flash going on in my life. Every once in a while, I like to have a little bit of peace and quiet, but it also causes me to ponder that peace and quiet. One of the best parts about my life is the fact that I get to do so many different things, not only as a mother of 4, because there's always a new challenge ahead of you when you've got 4 kids, but also because I am a high school substitute teacher. And last week, I was fortunate enough to be called in to substitute every single day. By Friday, I was a little tired, but luckily I got to teach my favorite subject, English, and I got to start my day with 50 minutes of pure quiet, the quietest space in an entire high school in school suspension. 50 minutes, no phones, no music, no talking. And as I'm sitting there thinking about that silence that I so rarely get to enjoy, I actually became a little uncomfortable because it is so foreign to me. A lot of people would say it's heavenly, but then I started thinking about what would an extreme form of this silence be. For example, as an English teacher, I think back to the Transcendentalists, not my favorite literary movement, by the way. But if you can dig back in your memory of English class and think about the Transcendentalists, those people who voluntarily give up conveniences, companionship, modern discourse, and isolate themselves out in the woods to become one with nature, to start to become comfortable in their own skin, to ponder the universe, both internal and external. Heavy stuff. And I never actually really enjoyed the Transcendentalists, but for 50 minutes in ISS, I could ponder them. Here's the thing. There's a time and a place for all of it. It's all about balance. Because just about the time I started to get truly uncomfortable with that 50 minutes of peace and quiet, the bell rang, and I got to go off to the rest of my day and interact with teenagers who breathe life into me, whose energy is positive and ever-changing. So while one might appreciate that quiet, the stillness, I also don't like forcing that stillness onto other people. So later in the same day, end of the day on a Friday, I am sitting with a class, actually 2 classes back to back of juniors, 11th graders, who are tasked with a silent reading hour. 50 minutes, just reading. They had assignments to do. They had plenty to do. But Friday afternoon, it's hot outside, it's cold in the room, their minds are elsewhere, and it's very difficult for them to stay focused. My least favorite role as a teacher is the role of shusher. I hate shushing people. I don't want them to be forced to be quiet. But there is a time and place for quiet. And so I spent a good hour and a half, 2 hours, trying to shush a group of students who are inherently social and expected to read on a Friday afternoon. I hate that battle. But you know what? It's a battle I'm willing to take because teenagers do not allow themselves quiet time. They very rarely willingly submit to quiet. And sometimes there is a need to have a little peace and quiet. No worries. If it's a battle that I must have, I will arm myself with shield and sword, and I will set myself loose to be the shusher. Bubba, Jack, Queen Bee, and JR have made me an expert on constant movement and constant noise. And if I have to enforce a little bit of quiet, I will. What I'm most looking forward to this weekend, because the weekend is only a few days off, is a little bit of time to be transcendentalist, a little bit of time and space to commune with nature. This weekend, two Cub Scouts in the family, we are headed up to Devil's Lake with a whole lot of other Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts to be one with nature. The challenge, of course, is being one with nature, being quiet and still and appreciative while you are surrounded by hundreds of Cub Scouts. So here's the lesson. As with so many other things in our lives, it's about balance. It's about finding 50 minutes of quiet, of stillness, and then turning around and being able to function in the constant motion, in the constant noise, in the constant flash of modern society. Take a few moments for yourself. Spend a little silent time, and then relish the joy. Have a great day.